Well, my name is Fred. I'm from France. I'm 46 years old. I started martial arts and everything connected to it when I was 5. Basically, I was lucky enough to be born in a martial arts family. So both my parents practiced martial arts, and I started when I was very, very young, 5 years old. I had the opportunity to train with amazing people. I started with judo and savate, French boxing, and then kung fu and different style of Chinese martial arts until I discovered Southeast Asian martial arts like Filipino Kali or Indonesian Silat, Muay Thai, and those are the things that I teach today. Along with the martial arts, my journey was blessed with some amazing people and martial arts masters who were also acupuncturists or chiropractor or nutritionist or meditation instructors, and all that knowledge was, for me, was completely part of the martial arts. So that's what I learned, and that's what I teach. So basically, martial arts for us is just an excuse. You have an opportunity to learn something for the physical body, but then suddenly you realize that you can nourish your mind and your emotions, and you can have an impact on your stress management and your nutrition and your breathing and your posture. So everything is connected. Basically, what I always tell my students is, if you practice martial arts for 10 years or 15 years or even 5 years, and after a while your knees start to hurt and your low back starts to hurt and you have to stop practice because you're injured here and there, well, your practice didn't do you any good. And if you have to stop training because you get injured while training, for me, doesn't make any sense. The more you practice, the better your health should be, the better your mind, your body, your spirit. So everything should improve. It's not enough to be the best or the best you can be inside the school, the martial arts school, I mean. You have to be your best outside. So like I always say, and pardon my French here, but if you're a great practitioner inside the school and you're an asshole outside who beats his wife and treats people poorly, you didn't learn anything about the martial arts. So martial arts should put you in a path of personal growth, of personal development. Nutrition is such an important part of our teaching. One of the specificity of Filipino martial arts, the martial art that we teach, is knife defense. And I always tell my students, why would you want to defend yourself against a knife that may never come if you kill yourself most of the day with a fork? You train martial arts, okay, good. You learn self-defense and you want to be able to protect yourself and your family, that's great. And it's a big part of it, but it's not it. If you kill yourself outside with your lifestyle, why would you want to learn self-defense? Self-defense starts with a clean lifestyle. If not, it's not self-defense. It's just punching and kicking, and it's good cardio, it's good exercise, and if you like it, great. But don't pretend to do self-defense if you eat junk food and you drink alcohol and coffee and you smoke cigarette all the time. Everybody has to find a balance, and everybody has to find a definition of what martial art is for him or her and self-defense. But as far as pure self-defense is concerned, you need to protect yourself from yourself first, and from the big food and drug industry, and then eventually from someone who wants to punch you in the face or stab you or shoot you in the street. Because the chances that you're going to get injured, seriously injured, or even die from someone attacking you in the street, compared to the possibility for you to get seriously injured or to get a life-threatening disease because of what you eat, breathe, drink, or whatever other lifestyle choice you made, you know, the chances there is much higher than someone attacking you on the street. Yeah, we practice martial arts. Yes, we practice the way of the warrior. And yes, we need to be able to defend ourselves. But first, we need to be able to eat better, drink better, breathe better, have a better posture, a better state of mind, control our negative emotions better. That is also self-defense. If you don't have that part, don't worry about someone else attacking you on the street. The self-defense and martial arts aspect are very important. And a lot of time people are confused. If you talk about health and nutrition and stuff, your martial art is probably not very good. And if you're a hardcore punching the wall, breaking some bricks kind of martial arts, you don't care about the health and the meditation and stuff. It's completely wrong. I mean, I teach close quarter combat to special forces all around the world. I teach some of the best units in the world, VIP protection units, special forces, special reaction units. So I know that our program, our martial arts and close quarter combat program is super efficient. Nevertheless, I'm still a big believer of health and breathing and posture and meditation and nutrition, and it has to be a big part of the martial arts. If not, you lose your time training, period. Yeah, and a lot of people don't really understand a lot about nutrition, and those who do, usually it has a tendency to become a religion, and they have people have a tendency to become fanatics. I've tried almost every health and sports diet you can try in my entire life. Everything I teach, I try it on myself. So from vegetarian to vegan to raw vegan to juicing to blood type diet to chrono diet to paleo diet, keto diet, mononutrient diet, sports diet, every single diet you can try, as long as it's healthy. I don't try diets to lose weight like Atkins or those kind of diets. Only things that are supposed to improve my health and my performance as an athlete and my life in general. There's benefits in all of them, depending on what you do, what you believe, and how you act. But at some point, what I've discovered is mixing those concepts and try to see not the differences like people do and fight over, but the connection between all of them. What's the connection between a good, clean vegetarian diet and a good, clean paleo or keto diet? And there are a lot of points in common. And most people start to argue, you want to eat meat? No, you don't want to eat meat. Oh, you're an assassin. No, you're an idiot. And it doesn't make any sense. Eat meat when it's time to eat meat. Just make sure it's clean. Make sure it's not mass produced, and make sure the animal is not shot with antibiotics and chemicals and all those kind of drugs. If your meat is clean, if the animal lived a normal, healthy, outdoor life and one day died under a predator, whether this predator is a lion, a human, for me there's not much difference. So I'm not against being a meat eater because I eat meat myself, even though I was a vegetarian for 10 years. But I think people have a tendency to make it too personal, too, like I said before, too religious, and it doesn't have to be. But the connection between, back to vegetarian and paleo, the connection is veggies, simply. Many people believe that paleo is meat feast. Absolutely not. Paleo is a moderate protein, low carb diet. And keto even more. The difference between paleo and keto is simply the macros. So in keto, you have to hit 70 or 75% fat. Then moderate protein, 20-25%, and very low carbs. And we're talking about net carbs. So we don't talk about fibers and veggies. We really talk about net carb, the sugar, the glucose inside the carbs. So that needs to stay very, very low. But if, like me, you were a vegetarian for 10 years and a vegan for a few years and a raw vegan for a few years, there's a lot of stuff from there that you can bring into your keto diet. And I talk about it because I'm following a keto diet right now. And most of my meals are made with green smoothies with tons of veggies. I mean, spinach and kale, every veggies I can find on my fridge, all organic, all clean, all from the farmer's market. I put them in my blender, in my Vitamix. I put some water, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, blend it, drink it. Those are 2 or 3 of my meals every day. I drink more vegetables in a day than most people do in a month. And that's from the vegetarian diet that I tried earlier. You pre-digest the veggies, the fibers are very optimum, and it's very, very easy to have tons of veggies in your diet. And basically, if you can learn from each nutritional pattern and try to understand what's the best of each of them and find what eventually is best for you, that's what nutrition is all about. Nutrition is not supposed to be a cult. Everybody has something right. When a vegetarian claims that mass-produced meat is not only a carnage, but it's also a disaster for your health, they're completely right. But when, as a professional athlete, when I realized that after 10 years of vegetarianism, I was so skinny and I lost a lot of muscle mass, I decided to go back to paleo, and from paleo, I went to keto, which works best for me. But I know some professional vegan athletes who can put on some muscle mass and still be very efficient. Well, it's not my case. Or I didn't do it right, which is always possible. Or my body type, the way my body works, didn't agree with it. So I kept tons and tons of fruits and veggies from the vegetarian diet, but I add a lot of fat, of healthy fat, and a little bit of protein. And now I find a very balanced, very healthy diet that works for me. And blending, it's super powerful. And it's something everybody should do. And it's something everybody should agree on. And all the vegan and vegetarian and raw foodist and paleo and keto and athlete, all those guys should shake hands and learn from each other when it comes to juicing and blending. For me, it's one of the key aspects of my nutrition today. To finish up on keto, it's a very high-fat diet protocol, and most people are freaking out when they hear that. It's simply because they don't have the knowledge. I mean, fat, nutritional fat, do not turn into body fat. Sugar turns into body fat because it brings up your insulin. When you eat a very clean keto diet, it's absolutely not bad for you. On the contrary, there's a lot of studies that support keto as a diet to fight cancer and other disease. So basically, cancer cells can only multiply when there's a lot of acid and a lot of glucose. Now, those little guys feed on sugar. So when you stop grains and net carbs and sugar, basically you stop feeding the cancer cell and certain bacteria, bad bacteria. So when you feed on fat as a fuel, your body physiology and chemically changes completely. Basically, to make it very simple, if I eat more fat, my body is going to use that as a fuel. If I eat more sugar or glucose or carbs, which is the same thing, my body is going to learn to use that as a fuel. So people said, yeah, but you need the glucose for your brain, you need the glucose, for your muscles, the glycogen and all those things. It's true if your diet is carbs-based. If your diet is fat-based, you don't need that anymore. They only fuel on fat, and their brain start to feed on fat as well. So if you eat healthy fat, I'm talking about coconut, avocado, if you eat meat, organic, pasture-raised, clean meat, some very, very clean oil like olive oil, coconut oil and stuff like that. If you have a lot of that, your body is going to start to learn to use the fat as a fuel. And when you don't have enough food in your system, your body will learn to use your own body fat as a fuel. As long as you eat a lot of carbs, as long as you eat a lot of glucose, it's going to be very difficult to burn fat. I'm a firm believer of the 80-20 principle. Discipline only lasts for so long. And at some point, you're going to lose it if you're always on diet. Me personally, I have one cheat day per week. I try not to eat gluten once a week. It would be too much for my system. But once a month, that cheat day will be gluten-based. So pizza, of course, because I love pizza. So everybody has something that they love and that they don't want to stop for the rest of their life. And whatever it is, they have to know they can have it. It doesn't matter what kind of diet you are on. You have to be able to open your mind and to realize some things are good for you, some things are not so good for you, and some things are horrible for you. How do you balance it up? What choices do you make so your health, but also your mind and also your social life are just balanced?